go.
Safe staffing now!
We are holding joint press conferences today, one here outside Tufts Medical Center and another outside St. Vincent Hospital in Worcester, to voice our concerns about patient safety, not only at these hospitals, but at hospitals across the Commonwealth.
The problem has only gotten worse. Nurses have had enough. The industry is out of control. Patients are suffering and dying, and something must be done.
It is with the utmost concern for the safety of our patients that I, on behalf of the 740 nurses at St. Vincent Hospital, am taking this opportunity to appeal for support for desperately needed legislation to set safe RN staffing levels and stop the use of forced overtime in our state's hospitals. I have in my hand more than 900, I can't even barely pick them up, 900 official reports that our nurses have filed detailing staffing conditions that they believe jeopardize the safety of their patients. That's more than 2 incidents every single day.
Our opposition to changes in the staffing levels at this facility that were instituted with the introduction of what our management called a new model of care. Those changes have transformed this hospital into being one of the worst staffed hospitals. We used to be the best, now we're the worst.
We are here today because this shouldn't be an issue that is settled through a union contract. Patient safety is not negotiable, and nurses should not have to strike to get these issues resolved. But without a legislative solution, we have no choice but to use all the means at our disposal to protect our patients.
Because of this chronic lack of staff to cover all shifts, there are regular holes in our schedule. The hospital has begun relying on mandatory overtimes as a means of staffing the hospital. This is forcing exhausted and overburdened nurses who have already been pushed to their limits during their regular shift to work extra hours and entire shifts, fatigued and unable to practice safely.
The system is totally out of control, and patients are suffering because of it. We are here because the time has come for the legislature to act on this issue. The nurses of Massachusetts are in crisis, and we need these bills to pass now.
Yes. So we're asking you to do the same, to work with the nurses, not just on this, but work with me and my colleagues up on Beacon Hill to endorse the legislation of the safe staffing level so that we can work as a team to come up with safe levels so that the patients that are cared for, not just in this hospital, but the hospitals throughout this Commonwealth, have the proper care at the bedside.
The Greater Boston Labor Council has a saying, when we stand together and we fight together, we win together. That's what we're going to do with the M&A. Thank
you. We need the safe staffing bill now and a law to ban mandatory overtime. I, along with my colleagues here today, intend to be up at the State House, knocking on doors, educating legislators, and doing our best to convince our elected officials to end this crisis for our patients and our families once and for all.
Safe staffing now!
Safe staffing now! Safe staffing now! Safe staffing now! Do you hear us, St. V's?
Acuity of the patients is not taken into consideration when an assignment is made. We are at the minimal standards of care at Tufts right now, and I feel that if we continue on this road, it just is not going to be good for the patients.
They really have changed the way that they staff the units in the hospitals, especially the ICUs, where patients have more comorbidities and are a lot sicker. They're trying to maintain the same numbers and not take into account the acuity of these patients. Mandatory overtime is always dangerous. For both shifts, we work 12-hour shifts, but I can especially speak from a night point of view that when you work 12 hours as a night person, to tack on another 4 hours at the end of that and try to drive home safely or even pass medication safely is very frightening.
You get burnt out and you lose the love that you have inside because you start to hate your job. And I didn't go into nursing to hate my job. I love patients. I treat every patient like they're my own family member. And it's hard. It's really hard.
So when your shift's done, you're heading home. How are you feeling?
I still feel like I wasn't a good nurse to my patients, that I wasn't the best nurse
that I could be, I wasn't the nurse that they deserve, and that kills me.
Overwhelmed. Sometimes I cry on the way home from work. I feel like a failure sometimes. I feel like I failed my patients. I feel like I wasn't good enough because I couldn't be. I couldn't do it all. Can't be resource nurse to 24 beds, take an entire patient assignment myself and give the care that I think my patients deserve.
You feel overwhelmed. You feel like you did not give it your best. You feel like your hands were tied.
I'm just really proud to be here, and I'm proud to be a member of the MNA. And I think we're going to do good things.
I think we have an opportunity here to make our hospitals in our state and my hospital a lot better, and I really hope people pay attention.
So that's why I'm here at the State House. I want people to give me a chance to be the nurse that I think I'm supposed to be.